Bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this special sitting of the City of Westmount and Séance extraordinaire, du conseil de la ville de Westmount. This is what we typically do at this time of year, is our capital works budget, and then we will move the operating budget in the middle of December. So, and I would just remind citizens that this is, while we have we certainly know the projects that we want to do next year, we are tonight moving an envelope of, we're committing to what envelope that we would like to spend, but it's some of those projects obviously may be changed over the coming months. And I would just like to thank the finance team as well as Ms. Gaetano and her team at engineering and infrastructure for this has been an incredibly challenging year to manage projects, as citizens I'm sure can understand. And we began our construction season in a full lockdown in the province of Quebec and finished our construction season as we hit the second wave. So obviously that threw some challenges in terms of planning, but I just want to thank them for the planning that they have done for the 2021 projects, but as well for all the work that they accomplished under challenging circumstances in 2020. So now I would move to adopt the agenda, and that is Councillor Peart.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the agenda of this special council sitting on November 16th, 2020 be adopted.
Thank you. And do I have a seconder on that? Councillor Shammy. All in favor? Carried. And now we move to item number 3, which is the presentation of the 3-year program of capital expenditures for 2021, 22, 23. And I would hand it over to Councillor Cutler, who is our Commissioner of Infrastructure and Innovation, who is also a member of the Finance and Administration Committee that has been working at this budget in, as I said, in sort of unprecedented times of many unknowns this year because of COVID. But I'll hand it over to him, and he'll be able to give you some details on the projects that citizens can expect to see in the coming year.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Before I get into the formal budget speech, there are a couple things I want to preface. I'll echo the mayor's comments around 2020 being an extraordinary year. There are a number of things that we had to do as a city quite rapidly that I think we responded to very quickly with regards to 2020 budgeting that has allowed us to stay in a healthy and responsible fiscal state. You may recall, but back in the summer, we had deferred some projects given the uncertainty around, when, if at all, we'd be able to complete these projects. Our engineering team has worked really, really hard. I've been very impressed with their efforts through this whole process. And I think we have every intention to maintain our schedule. I'll elaborate on this in the formal budget speech, but we've really worked hard this year. Like, this has been a particularly challenging year for everyone. We're mindful of that. It's been really difficult. I don't think it's what any of the council or administration had signed up for. I'm quite certain of that. But I'm very, very confident that we're putting forward a PTI budget that's aggressive. We're putting forward a PTI budget that is mindful of the circumstances. We're putting forward a PTI budget I think we can all be very proud of. So without further ado, I'll move on to the formal budget speech. Mayor Smith, fellow councillors, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to present the city's 2021-2023 capital works budget. First of all, I want to emphasize that investing in our infrastructure, whether it is our roads, water or sewer lines, parks or municipal facilities, is essential for the quality of life for all Westmounters. In developing the capital works program, Council is committed to being fiscally responsible. While addressing urgent needs, we must always consider the potential cost of deferred maintenance and assess the risks of a much higher bill over the long term. We are also committed to representing our means and adopting a financial method that is in line with the available cash flow. This is a difficult balancing act. 4 years ago, the previous council, which myself, the mayor, and Councillor Wellham were part of, directed the city's administration to prepare a 20-year asset management plan. At that time, it was determined that the average annual investment of $15.5 million was required for regular capital projects. In assessing the situation, current council determined that a larger investment was required. We've spent $14.1 million in 2019, and we'll spend $14.1 million in 2019, and we'll spend $15.9 million this year. This amount is less than the initial budget for the year of 2020. This decrease is due to the uncertainty that prevailed since last March. As a precaution, some projects have been postponed to next year. Before we move on to next year's budget, I would like to congratulate our engineering, public works, Hydro Westmount, and IT teams for consistently delivering projects on time and on budget. I would like to point out that proper planning allowed us to prepare the bid solicitations and related documents in a professional and timely manner. It has also helped us meet our deadlines and budgets. Now, let me turn to the 2021 to 2023 capital program. In 2021, we proposed a total investment of $27.2 million for the capital program, which includes, among others, the following major projects: the reconstruction of Sunnyside with a budget of $3.7 million, the restoration of the heritage greenhouses, $5.4 million, and the restoration of City Hall, $1.6 million. These three projects are critical investments. They are funded by the city's accumulated surplus, some of which began in 2020 and are scheduled to be completed in 2021. Approximately 82% of the total capital program will be invested in roads, water, and sewer systems and buildings. I recognize that water and sewer lines are not very attractive, but our underground infrastructure is, in some cases, more than 100 years old. Specifically, the 2021 budget projects include the completion of the reconstruction of the following roads, among others: Springfield, Stayner, St. Sulpice, and Sunnyside, between Upper Bellevue and Belvedere; the replacement of public water inlets and rehabilitation of water mains on Mount Pleasant, between Sherbrooke and Holton, and Stayner; rehabilitation projects on Lexington and Claremont, between Côte Saint-Antoine and Sherbrooke; and sidewalk restoration and resurfacing on Dorchester, between Atwater and Green. Investments in parks and green spaces, which we doubled in 2020 to $1.2 million, are being increased again this year to $1.7 million. This includes significant investments in King George Park and Westmount Park, as well as rebuilding the stairs on Roslyn. Once again this year, we are allocating a significant portion of the budget to municipal buildings that are in great need of investment to ensure their sustainability. In fact, $9.6 million has been allocated to various renovations and equipment replacement projects, including City Hall, the Public Works Garage, and Victoria Hall. We continue to invest in our Hydro Westmount network, in the renewal of our fleet of vehicles, and in other equipment essential to operations. We continue to improve our computer networks. In addition, I would like to emphasize that we are maintaining our conservative approach to financing our capital projects. We will not be borrowing to move forward with these initiatives, totaling $27.2 million. $12.7 million will be financed through taxation, $13.6 million will be financed through the accumulated surplus, and $950,000 will be financed through grants. Council is pleased to present this 3-year capital program with a 20-year investment perspective. I'm confident that we are following a responsible path that will benefit all Westmounters. With the above comments, I hereby submit the 2021 to 2023 3-year capital program for Council's approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cutler. Many details in there, and obviously Councillor Cutler was able to highlight some of the major projects that we will be doing next year, but there are many, many projects that are smaller in nature and preparing for the following years in terms of capital works projects. One of note would be the beginning of the study of the redoing of the boulevard and the work that will have to go into that. And that is that is, while it's not a huge figure this year because the work isn't being done, but we are beginning to prepare for what will be at minimum a 3-year project. So thank you very much, Councillor Cutler. Again, we move capital works tonight and the overall operating budget in December. And while we cannot commit to exactly what the surplus will be this year in these uncertain times, but we can commit to an engineering department that is very ready for all circumstances. So I now move to item number 4, which is the adoption of the 3-year program of the capital expenditures for the 21, 22, and 2023 fiscal years. Councillor Cutler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the 3-year program of capital expenditures of the City of Westmount for 2021, 2022, and 2023 fiscal years attached hereto be adopted.
Thank you. And a seconder on that, Councillor Kez will second. Any further comments from Councillor Cutler or anyone else on council? Anyone from the F&A committee?
I do want to thank the members of the administration who worked really hard on this. I mean, the mayor mentioned it earlier, but I think it should be restated here, as well as the members of the F&A. This was definitely the most challenging of all the years that I've been involved in this process. And personally, I'm quite pleased with the outcome. And I'm certainly hoping that I have the unanimous support of all council moving forward with this.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cutler. So now we'll vote. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Now we have the ability to accept questions online live. So I will just check with the city clerk. Do we have any questions from this part of tonight's agenda?
I'll do a final refresh. As of now, nothing. We received no questions for today's special sitting.
Okay, well, thank you. I encourage citizens to be in touch. These are your tax dollars. This is the investment in your city. So if you have concerns or questions about the Capital Works budget, we are more than willing to answer them. So thank you very much. And the meeting is adjourned.
We'll be back online at 5:30 for the regular council.